sure y'all check out the Retro Philosophy Show on YouTube with my man Retro. Like, subscribe, comment, share, copy the link, put it on Instagram in your bio, put it on your Facebook page. Send it to your mama, text it to somebody. But y'all make sure y'all follow this page, Retro Philosophy. Stop playing.
Yo, what's up to everybody, including Lottie Dottie? This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Shout out to the one and only Burpee the comedian. Thank you for the drop, sir. If you guys have not already begun to follow him on social media, check him out. He's a hilarious guy, man. Dude is funny. But nevertheless, hey, we want to talk to you guys just for a few. Beautiful day here in the Carolinas. Um, a little bit cold, feeling like 40, but nevertheless, said this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will read it. You've heard me say this over and over again, and I'll say it once again. If you don't have the ability to create a day, you don't have the right to complain about a day. Yeah, so therefore, just rejoice and be thankful, be glad, be content. The Bible says, have we quoted the Bible yet? Well, let's do that. The Bible says that godliness with contentment is great gain. Yeah, godliness with contentment is great gain. And oh, that doesn't sound good, folks. And so I've learned to be content. We had the pleasure of interviewing a very beautiful soul on last night, Dr. Lisa, aka Dr. Duchess. And from the very beginning of the interview to the end of the interview, she had such a radiant smile. And she's just come through a fight with cancer. She also shared the loss of loved ones within a significant amount of time, within a space of time. So, but she still managed to smile. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it's because understand that where it's bad, it can be a whole lot worse. We understand that in spite of the hardships of life, we still have life. And I heard somebody say this: death doesn't happen to life, it happens in life. Some of y'all don't get that and probably won't get that, but for those of you who do, you're welcome. I want to talk for a quick moment. I'm on my way to Lowe's Home Improvement. Yeah, you already know. Your boy is working, and so I got to go there and pick up some supplies. Dude, you are all on my side of the road, and I got to go pick up some supplies to finish up this project that I'm working on. And as soon as I get done with that one, I got to roll over to another one. It's just, it is what it is. Um, so anyway, as I make my way to Lowe's, I want to talk to you guys for a few minutes. And what I want to mention to you is some of us are giving up on things and even people. We're giving up on opportunities and chances because it's not working. hmm Yeah, we're giving up because it's not working. But could it perhaps be that it's not so much that it cannot work, it's just not working? Okay, let me see if I can say that again. Could it perhaps be that it's whether it be, an opportunity, using it the wrong way, therefore it's not working. That doesn't mean that it cannot work. And so sometimes we've got to learn how to deal with the things that we've been given. We've got to learn to deal with the things that show up in life. Because some things show up as a problem that turns out to be the answer to a problem. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me on today. Okay, I see what we're doing here. I get it. I understand. Um, so what I want to do is I want to encourage you as I encourage myself because I had a situation and I had what's the word I'm looking for? I had established a particular resolve as a result of how this thing was working or wasn't working, right? And so I said, no, I can't do that. I can't use that. And so until recently, all right, I had no choice but to give it another try. And this time, when I gave it another try, I used it differently. It's a real simple thing, so you don't really have to dig into it too deep and try to figure out what's going on in Retro's life. It's something that was really simple, right? But the principle, oh my goodness, it's applicable across the board, okay? And so here I am. I've got a situation where this normally doesn't work for me, but I'm left with no other option. And I'm a guy who tries to never be left without another option, okay? Uh, so in this case, I said, okay, well, I'm gonna use it. I know it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna use it. And what would happen is I would use it, and it would be all right for the first few times, and then lo and behold, it would create the same issue, right? So I said, well, I only need it for today, so normally I have to use it X amount of time before the issue shows up. And so, Josh Towers, what's going on, good brother? How you doing, sir? And so I said, okay, well, I'll just use it, and I won't need to use it long, and bada boom, bada bang, right? And so what I did was this time I used it differently. I didn't use as much, I just, as they say, a little dab would do you type of thing, and so I adjusted the way I used the thing that I thought doesn't work for me. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, saints and saints, everybody, including you, Lottie Dottie, it's been working like a charm. Every time I use it, I'm reminded that sometimes it's not the tool, it's not the opportunity, it's not the person, it's not the this, it's not the that, but it's how you adjust in your use of it. Okay. All right. All right. I just thought I would share that on today because some of you guys could literally go into the recycle bin. You could literally go to your trash bin. You know, the place where you threw things away that you said, it has no more use, it has no more value. I've got a 1966 Buick at the house. It had been parked for quite a while because I've been on these motorcycles and stuff, and I have been showing my old schools no love, right? Well, the other day I felt guilty, right? So I went, of course, the battery was dead, so I took the battery out of my Volkswagen and popped it into my Buick. That's what she did. She fired right up. Fired right up. And so I had to put a little transmission fluid in it because she's got a wicked leak, and it sat so long it all leaked out. And so I put some transmission fluid in that thing, boy, and down the road we went. I still got to get back and give her a good little bath and start driving a little bit more, especially during the winter months, because I don't want it to. But here's the point. This is the reason why I brought up the Buick. Okay. Now I'm very fond of this vehicle, and it's probably one that I'll never get rid of. It's just it'll just remain in the stable for sentimental reasons, right? But and it's not like it's worth a whole lot of money. It's got a little value to it, monetarily value. But here's the deal. Here's the point. I had went to the junkyard, literally. This has been years ago. With my brother-in-law, he was looking for a part. So he and we go to the salvage yard, and as we enter, I look to the left, and there's this big old blue hunk of metal sitting low to the floor. And I looked at it. It's four doors. I really like that. I'm looking for a two-door, right? Over there, and I walk around it, and the body is in good shape and everything, and it's all there. It's on some little steely, so it's sitting almost on the floor, literally. Interior is a little rough, and so I go inside and I inquire about the vehicle. The guy said, "Yeah, it's for sale. You can buy it if you want it," and I'm thinking about it, and he told me a price, and I'm like, okay, and so I go home that night, guys, right? And it's almost like I couldn't sleep. This thing is on my mind. So I hop on the interwide web and I start doing a little punching in and everything, and start looking up these vehicles, Buick Special 1966, and I get all these different pictures. So now I'm getting ideas of how I can fix it up. Eddie Bird, what's going on, brother? Thank you very much, sir. And I'm getting all these ideas, not only ideas, but I'm starting to see the value, and the asking price that they were asking was beyond fair. So I'm like, okay, now I'm really intrigued. I'm really interested now, right? So I call the guy up and I say, hey, look, man, I'm interested, man. I think I'm gonna come get that vehicle, right? And so the guy is like, well, the title is we don't have the title. I think it's at the other location, and he's giving me all these excuses as to why I shouldn't come and get the vehicle, right? And but now my mind is on this vehicle now, so when I get to that point, I gotta have it, right? So I say, hey, look, bro, I'm gonna just come get it when you get the title. So I get up there and and I do my deal. I go in there, and now I'm talking to the owner of the facility. He said, "Oh yeah, the title's down at another location. We'll just have to send for it and everything." And so I'm like, "Oh, okay. So it's not that big of a deal." No, no, we can get the title. So okay, cool. I said, "I'll tell you what. I'll give you X amount, all right? And then when the title comes in, I'll give you the rest." He says, "Okay, cool." So they go and get it. They bring it over on a big old loader and drop it down on my car. Comes screeching in and stops where I'm at and says, "Man, I was coming to get that car." I said, "Well, I got it now, bro." So apparently the guy that worked there was trying to stall me for his homie. But anyway, the point is, I got the vehicle now. It's in my possession. I own it. A couple of days later, I get the title. I got the car home, got it running the same day and everything. And the valve cover gasket blew off. Okay, so that was the only problem. I had to get that sorted out. So I'm now down at the body shop, and I'm talking to my body guy. I'm telling him about this vehicle I got. Yo, Will, I got one for you, bro. I'm gonna need you to put some paint on it because it's real dull. I don't know if it can buff out or if it just needs a new paint job or what. But I got to get it down here so you can look at it. And the guy is sitting there working on another vehicle, and he keeps looking over into our conversation, and I notice him, right, and I'm like, all right, this dude is nosy. He's all in our conversation. So finally, the guy says, "Hey, what color is that car?" I said, "It's blue." He says, "Is it a four door?" I said, "Yeah, it's a four door." And he says a few other things to describe the vehicle. And I say, "Yeah, that's it." He said, "Hey, that's my buddy's car." So he pulls out his phone and he calls the guy, and the guy gets on the phone and he said, "Yeah." He said, "Hey, tell him I got the door panels and everything, man. So if he wants them, tell him just swing by and I'll give them to him." And I'm like, "Oh snap!" So I go get the door panels from the guy, a few other things, and he told me, he said, "Yeah, I was racing a guy in a Corvette, and the motor just started smoking, so I junked it." I said, "What?" "Yeah, I junked it." And I know that they didn't give him much for the vehicle, based on what I paid for it. And so the point is, ladies and gentlemen, saints and saints, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, some people don't know how to value a thing. But just because they don't value a thing doesn't mean it doesn't have any worth. I mean, every time I drive that car, I get the thumbs up. I get the, "Hey, man." I got one guy. He comes by periodically trying to buy it from. You know. And so you be very careful how you allow someone to think less of yourself than you should. Because I promise you, there's somebody that knows your worth. There's somebody that understands your value, and they will pay that and even more. Okay? I believe the problem is sometimes we are putting too much faith in people that we should never even give the time of day. hmm Yeah. You see, you're not a cheap individual. They're just a poor individual. Yeah, they can't afford your worth. Yeah, and so that's why they try to treat you the way they treat you and handle you the way that they handle you. Okay. Anytime you misuse a thing, you will never get its full potential. Okay. You will never get its full potential out of something that you mistreat. Case in point, you got you a fine, she a dime piece. You got you a fine thing on your side, and all you value her for is her hips and tits. All you value her for is her pretty looks. But she's way more than hips, tits, and a pretty face. I know I said it, and y'all said, "Ooh, Rhett," yeah, I said it. She's way more than just a piece of behind. Can I preach to y'all on this morning? She is way more than that. And so sometimes we've got to stop looking at the obvious. We've got to stop looking at the surface, and we've got to learn to dig deeper. We've got to learn to dig deeper. Thank you, Bird. Thank you very much, sir. Um, because that person that God has strategically, intentionally placed you with is for more than, I don't know why I'm going here, but it's for more than just getting your rocks off. It's for more than just arm candy, eye candy, arm decoration, and eye candy. When God gave us these wives, He gave us a helpmeet. He gave us a woman. Come on, somebody, that was put on earth to complete us and help us achieve above and beyond. So I'm gonna get off of that because this is a what's love type of conversation that we drifted into. If you're not a part of the What's Love group, make sure you join us. We do marriage enrichment sessions monthly, live and in living color, and I mean in person. So anyway, if you don't know how to appreciate a thing and properly value a thing, you will never maximize the thing. Okay? You wonder why she always giving you a headache. It's because you're not valuing her the way that you should. You got to take it up a little higher. Am I preaching a little bit, Josh? Just a little bit. I'm trying just a little bit. So to misuse a thing. Okay, let me get back on track. Many of us, we can go to the recycle bin and to the trash can because we threw a lot of things away that still had value, just like that Buick. That guy put it in the junkyard, but it still had value. It just took the right person to come along and see it for what it was. It took the right person to see it and then do a little research and be inspired by it and then rescued it. Come on, somebody. And that's what God did for us. He rescued us. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing to the preacher. That's all right. I'm preaching better than you praising. And so you're going to the store. You're going to the department store. You're going wherever to buy stuff that you already got. It's just that you put it in the recycle bin because you wasn't getting out of it what you wanted to get out of it. But the reason you wasn't getting out of it what you wanted to get out of it was because you wasn't using it right. We look at quote unquote Christians and we wonder why we don't get the results that we think we should have. It's because we're utilizing our gifts the wrong way. Paul addressed it in the book of Corinthians, chapter number 13, I believe it was, 1 Corinthians 13. He says, if you have all these gifts and you don't have love, then you have become a tinkling cymbal and a sounding brass. So in other words, you got the right gift, but you're using it wrong. You're using it for fortune and fame. You're using it to be recognized. You're using it to get your way. You're using it to, to manipulate. You're using it the wrong way. So I want to suggest to everybody, including myself, to take another look. I believe whatever your need is, whatever your desire is, number one, he would not withhold any good thing from them that walk uprightly before him. So if you live right and your desires are right, it's yours. Okay, number one. Number two, what is number two, Tro? Number two, not only are the desires already ours if we live right and if they're in line with him, but number two, he's already given it to us. All you got to do is get there. He said, wherever you put your tread, I've already given it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, included, lottie, dottie, use your gift the right way. I get so sick and tired of hearing and seeing preachers take their gift to beat up on people. A man or a woman can literally take a message that God has given them. And when I say a message, I'm not talking so much about a sermon. But sometimes God can give you a download, a deposit, and you'll still take that deposit and use it in the wrong way, just like Moses. That's why Moses wasn't able to make it into the promised land. God said to Moses, he said, speak to me no more concerning this. I want to look into your orbital sockets. He said, speak to me no more concerning this matter. Yeah, that's what God told Moses. He said, it's a done deal, bro. I told you what to do. I gifted you, and you used it the wrong way. You got mad, and I understand the frustration. But not only, see, it wasn't so much that Moses got mad with the people of God, but he allowed anger to rest in his bosom. The Bible says, be angry and sin not. I think a lot of things from time to time. Look at here. Let me tell you, all my thoughts ain't always holy. I don't know who told you that lie. All my thoughts ain't always holy. I'm gonna just tell. I'll be the first one to tell you the truth. It's a struggle every day, every doggone day. Okay, I'm just being 100 with you. Um, are we there, guys? My apologies for the interruption there. Okay, sorry about that, guys. And so Moses got in trouble, and as a result, he wasn't able to make it into the promised land. He was able to go up on the mountain and look over there and see it, but he wasn't able to enter into it. Okay, and so my point is, we can have the right message, but we if we're not careful, we'll mess around and we'll deliver it the wrong way and get in trouble. Don't get in trouble, guys. Okay. Yeah, don't get in trouble. I'm getting ready to pull up the lows here in just a second. As soon as this light turns red, and I can make it through this traffic because traffic here on 150 is, I'm not gonna say it's a nightmare, but it's ugly. They're expanding it, which they've been promising to do for years. They finally got around to starting the expansion, and so it's a little yeah, yeah, it's a little congested and a slight inconvenience to yield a greater convenience. Go figure, huh? That's how it works, guys. So hey, I want to thank you for riding with me. Life unedited, retro on twos, and all that good stuff. Did not have time. Well, I did. I did have time. I just didn't make time. You see, sometimes we talk about we don't have time for. You had time. You just didn't make time. Okay, so I had time because every day I get the same 24 hours that everybody else does. And so I had time to get up and get into the studio, but I didn't take time. I didn't make. Well, I didn't. I can't say I can make time because none of us make time. I just established that earlier, right? None of us has the ability to create a day, so I can't make time. But I could have taken the time, but I didn't for my own selfish reasons. And so, but my point is, I didn't get into the studio this morning, so I said, well, we'll do it from the bike on the way down the road. I have had a long couple days, couple weeks, couple months, to be honest with you, and so much to do and everything, um, and it's getting done. So that's a good thing. That's a blessing. It's getting done. All right. Uh, but so I said I would talk to you guys for a few minutes. So I'm on my way down the road on the bike, the mobile studio. I'm on the wing, guys. I'm on the gold wing. She ain't quite set up like my road glide was. My road glide was literally um, my studio on the go, and I've got to get it dropped off to Big Swins V Twins up in Fayetteville to get her repaired and back on the road. But until then, I'm enjoying the Gold Wing, which is a really nice ride. It's a good riding motorcycle. It is indeed. Uh, but a Harley is a Harley, and I guess I cut my teeth on the Harley, and I'm just so used to it that I want it back. Make sure you guys check me out, man. We got the big ride coming up. Josh, I don't know if you're still on, sir, but if you are, I'm doing Retro's Nifty 50/50 Classic Adventure. We're going to launch out of from Virginia at the Moto Mob. It's going to be the official starting point. I'll leave my house, get to the Moto Mob, and then we'll go up to Ocean City, Maryland. And so, if it's at all possible that we can choreograph this thing so that Christ descendants could escort me from Virginia to Maryland, that would be perfect, and I'd be ever so grateful. Moose, I don't know if you're watching. Somebody tag Moose, Hustleman. Somebody tag them guys. Grunt. Somebody tag them guys. I'm launching out of Yo State and in your backyard. And so if I can get a few nights to see me off, um, that would be perfect and ever so grateful. I'm calling on all my motorcycle ministries from here to Maryland and from Maryland to California to catch me on this journey and ride with me for a few minutes in prayer and in unity. And I believe that the Lord would be pleased. I believe the people of God would be edified, and the devil would continue to be horrified. Because his plan is to divide and conquer. He likes to separate, divide and conquer. So this ride will represent several things. And I'll be honest, first and foremost, this is the way I'm celebrating my 50th year on Earth. 50-year-old on a 50-year-old motorcycle riding the entirety of Route 50, U.S. Route 50. But there are several other things we want to bring some awareness to, such as motorcycle safety. As a motorcycle coach, that's one of the things on the top of my list. I always say, as many of you say, safety first and first safety. You know, another thing we say is all the gear all the time. You often hear me say the weather doesn't dictate whether or not we ride, but the gear we wear when we ride. Okay, so we will be promoting motorcycle safety, motorcycle awareness. Um, we also want to promote unity, since I do ride with Kingdom Knights, excuse me, Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry. We will be promoting, motorcycle ministry. Okay, and so, as I said, any and all motorcycle ministries. How you doing, man? From here to California, because Route 50, as I said, it starts in Ocean City, Maryland, and it ends in what is it? Is it Sacramento, California? I think it might be Sacramento, California, but it ends in California, over 3,000 miles one way. Over 3,000 miles one way. I won't be coming back Route 50. More than likely, I'll probably come back 66, Route 66, maybe Highway 80 or something like that. Um, but going across is going to be Route 50 all the way. So if you'd like to ride with us, we do have a participation sheet that you can fill out. And all it asks is, what state are you coming from? Where will you meet me? And how long will you ride with me? On that sheet, there's also a couple different places where you can either support or sponsor, and that's of your choice. There's no, you got to do it. No, no, whatever you want to do to support and or sponsor a portion of the trip or whatever. Or shoot, we might as well put in there all of the trip. We might have a philanthropist out there. Was it Damon Darling? Where you at, bro? You got $1? uh, so we might have a philanthropist out there that might say, "Hey, Retro, I see you. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I wanna sow into it. I want to support." And this is another thing. We're gonna have a full blown show on this. There's a difference between giving someone the opportunity to sow, giving someone the opportunity to partner, and simply begging. And one thing you will never find me do is begging. Uh, will I ask? Yes, you darn right I will. I'll ask. In the car business, they taught us, if you don't present the ask, how are you gonna sell the car? There comes a time sometimes when you just got to ask. Is this the right car for you? You want to sign on? You want to make this deal. Sometimes you got to present the ask. So I'm not beneath asking, especially if I'm in need. But asking and begging are two different things, entirely different. I'll do a whole show on that because there's a lot of chatter going on. There's a lot of chatter going on different social media sites about people putting up cash apps and putting up um, Venmos and what's the other thing, GoFundMe and stuff. And so we'll park that right there for now, and we'll pick it up at another time. But make sure you guys tune into this show because it's going to be an interesting show. Money, contrary to popular beliefs, is the lowest form of currency. Yeah, I'll say it one more time for those in the back. Money is the lowest form of currency. We'll talk about it on the show. Um, and some people miss their blessings because they're stingy. Some people miss their blessings because they always want it coming in and never going out. It's more blessed to give than it is to receive. And so when you see a person receiving, it's their season to receive, perhaps, possibly, it's their season to receive. And what I mean by that is, where were you during their sowing season? See, just because they're receiving now, where were you at when they were giving and giving and giving till they had no more to give? Where were you when they were, working their way through lack and not enough? And now that they're in their overflow season, leave them alone. Let people bless them. Because I promise you, you bless somebody with the right heart, the right intentions, and for the right reasons. I don't care what you do with the $5 I gave you. That's on you. That's between you and God. But I gave it from a good heart and a pure place. So I'm going to be blessed. Like I said, we'll talk about that later. Let me run in here, man, because the sun is getting hotter, which means the day is getting away from me. And, day's already done, man. It's 11 o'clock. Good Lord. Y'all making me look like a slacker, man. I got work I got to do. I should be working. Because if I'm going to ride a 1975 across the country, number one, I got to get the bike roadworthy. That costs money. Then I got to put gas in it. That costs money. Then I got to cross state lines. That costs money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me get off this phone and get to work, so I can have a nickel, a quarter, and maybe even a dollar or two, so I can make this classic, epic ride to remember. Make sure you join us, man. Retro's nifty 50/50 classic adventure. Ride along with us, man. You don't have to ride the whole ride. You do not have to ride the whole ride with us, but you are welcome to join us and ride a portion of the ride with us. Put this key up here. Y'all may not know it, but I lost my keys the other day, man. I did